So where did life take you from there? From college, what did you do with that information after you started listening to books or reading? Um, how did that change your perspective? How did you um, balance that with what and how you were brought up?
Yeah.
And did you bring this to your parents?
Well, I brought a lot more than that to my parents. Uh, this is a very vulnerable space inside my heart to share, but I feel my heart like thumping because it needs to come out. But along with that time, I was an exotic dancer, so I was like a student by day, I was an exotic dancer by night, and I thought I was living the life, making my money, not saving or investing it wisely. Um, but I started saying I want to get out this club, I want to get out this club, and I ended up getting fired. And the guy was saying like you kept putting it out there, and the universe answered back. And
Yes.
so from there, I started modeling. Because we had like a falling out, and I was really heartbroken by that. I was depressed. I dropped all my classes. It was hard. It was hard because
What was the falling out?
he ended up having a son and telling me like a day before his son was born. Yeah.
That's so weird because the exact same thing happened to me on the day of my ex's delivery
Oh my goodness.
for his child. Yeah, so wow, yeah, I can imagine.
It's a roller coaster.
Right.
But I look at it as a gift now.
Yeah.
I started modeling because I needed something to take my mind off of that, and I was learning about energy.
How did you get into modeling?
At school at Morgan State.
Okay.
Where I went. And I started reaching out to different photographers in the area.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to get out there, put myself out there, try something different. And one thing led to another. I was flying myself to Miami to go do a test shoot with the photographer for Hype Hair Magazine. Trying to remember his name. It'll come to me.
We'll put it on the bottom of the screen later.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did my first published spread in 2015, and then a few years later, that was 2013, 14. I'm getting my dates all mixed up. But
That's okay.
speed up a few years later, I was modeling for Kanye West, and that's when a different reality started to hit. I was on this high. I was on my way to fame and fortune, just like society projects you to be, but I wasn't happy. Like, I was wearing this smile that I was, and everybody was like, oh, look at you, you're going here and there, but they didn't know I was back home crying myself to sleep. I was taking off and going places to work and never coming home.
So what do you think it was that caused you to have or a feeling of unhappiness?
It was unsettled pain, because I never really took the time to deal with the heartbreak. I never took the time to deal with my childhood. I was disconnected from my inner child, which is something I learned in the past year. And even the spiritual practices of my ancestors, something that I'm learning now about becoming a sacred woman by reading Queen Afua's book. I was disconnected from all of those things, and I didn't know it. I was so focused on the external, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna meditate, I'm gonna do yoga, and I'm gonna be healed, I'm gonna be fixed. Think positive. All the negative people get away from me. You saying I'm thinking small? No, I'm thinking big. Like, it was insane when I think about it.
I want to pause you just for a moment. That is such a good point that you make in terms of practicing yoga, meditation, as if that's going to take care of everything. But it doesn't. You had to do the work.
Sure.
And I think that's a valid perspective to highlight, because I think as yoga and meditation has become more accepted,
right,
and also kind of trendy, people tend to think that that's going to solve it. So yeah, doing the work.
And even reflecting on growing up in a Christian church, it's like, oh, give it to Jesus, pray it away. And it's like, you have to do the work, you have to take accountability. Like Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, these were all prophets. Like, they taught us love. And so that's what we have to do. We have to do the work. And I'm constantly focusing on, how can I feel better? I wanted to get the pain out of me. I wanted to get it out of me. I wanted to feel good. I wanted to feel better. So like what always kept me and was keeping me on this journey of like, how can I grow? How can I be better? How can I ascend? How can I evolve?
Those are great questions. And so with your inner guru, you refer to healing inward. When did you come to a realization or understanding that you were a soul having a human experience and that you had a resource within you to ask those questions and to actually have answers or guidance?
It's interesting because I am still in the process of accepting that that's really what's going on. Like, it's like I've asked myself these questions and it's led me to like places I couldn't even imagine. But it's like I'm still accepting that this is really a spiritual experience. But things I like to do in the morning, like listen to Abraham Hicks, get into the vortex, and read Sacred Woman, and plant-based. I like to put great plants and fruits in my body. So these are things that are helping me get to that awareness. But it's interesting because I still feel like I'm on that journey of fully embracing that I'm a spiritual being in a physical body.
So as you process this and develop more acceptance of that, let me back up a minute. So do you believe that is what this experience is, and it's a matter of accepting, or are you still wondering if it is actually a one belief system, but not sure exactly if it's for you?
Well, I know that there's truth there, and there is the balance of like, okay, we live in this like physical world, and with sometimes I can go into this space, especially when I see like white people. Not you. You're different, but like when I see white people, it's like this thing of like, are you trying to like oppress me? Are you trying to like put me in this limiting capsule? Like you did my ass. Like I go through those things, so it's like I'm trying to balance that, and like we're all love, we're all one. So it's like that balance of the past and trying to learn from it, but also like the just where we're headed, ascension of the planet. Like we're all one. It's all love. So it's trying to find that balance. Yeah.
That is I think Eckhart Tolle refers to that as a community pain body, and that does require healing. So it's great that you take that perspective and you're aware of that and you're taking time to heal that and notice that. So what about so I'm going to go back to when you manifested getting fired. So the relation of the relation of thoughts and the response of the consciousness working to conspire for us. Do you find yourself practicing that more or noticing when that happens? Is it a conscious request, if you, for lack of a better word, because I can't think of what the word is, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's like, okay, I know now when I'm in a place of like trying to rush or overthinking, it's like my head gets cloudy and foggy, and it's like I don't like that feeling. So it's like, what do I need to do to get to a space of ease? And even if I'm in a space where it's like I feel embarrassed or I feel insecure, it's like breathe in love. Just smile and say hi. Like get out your own head, just talk, smile and say hi. I'll listen to spiritual guidance. I like Michael Bernard Beckwith. I listen to people like him and just get into a vibration that feels good, because I want to feel good, and it's like I know when I don't, and so it's like I have to make the shift to get to that place where I do.
I think that's totally normal. And that's a practice. And the more we do it, the easier we can stay in that vortex or stay on that vibration. For those of you that aren't aware of Michael Beckwith, I first saw him in The Secret. And at first, because I was raised a Jehovah's Witness and I had all of those constructs and belief systems built in and programmed into me at such a young age, I wasn't ready for Michael Beckwith. I was like, because I was, at that point, I was sort of turning away from the term God, which I really don't use still a lot, but I'm actually coming back around to feeling a little bit of comfort there. And that's because of, the stuff that I'm still unraveling from that mindset. However, now I have his book, Envisioning, I can't remember the title of it. I'll put it down in the link. But that now has opened me up to more. Like I'm ready for him now.
Bring it on, Michael.
Right. And so now being in Atlanta, I'm actually looking for churches or communities that are related or what do I want to say? Not facilitated, but connected to Agape Church in Southern California. So I've seen, if y'all know of any and that you like, please, let me know in the comments.
Or in Maryland too, okay?
So yeah, that's wonderful that you're able to listen to him now in such a short space, on your journey.
And he was The Secret too. It was the first place, and then like seeing him on Oprah and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Share with us a little more about how you give yourself care. So before and after mommy. So you're a new mom of 3 months, and I know that is still very transitional.
It's interesting. Okay, so when both me and Marcus feel this way, when we look at her, like, yeah, she's in this baby's body, but like we look and speak to her spirit, so it's like,
yes,
and thank God she's a very chill baby, so it doesn't feel hard. Like it doesn't feel hard, and like obviously being tired and stuff like that, but it's like everything we're doing it for her.
You don't look tired. You look beautiful. Just saying.
Thank you. In that case, though, I did come to an awareness because I'm here in Atlanta visiting her grandparents, her first grandchild, and Marcus is back home working. And I kept asking myself, I want more attention from him. I feel like I'm calling him what he's calling me. And we talked about it, and I shared with him the insight I had that I realized that my heart was speaking like I need to give more attention to myself. And so it's like, okay, what does that look like? And it's like, I love going in nature. So now that it's getting a little warmer, we can enjoy walks in nature, getting in the pool, going for a spa day, writing. I've journaled since I was a little girl, dance, creating, modeling. So these are all things I love to do. And now transitioning and just find that balance with motherhood and business ownership and everything else we have going on in our life.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that business part. That's that's a whole other animal within itself.
Yeah.
So
a beautiful one.
Yeah. I love the journey of entrepreneurship. It allows us to have so much flexibility and learn so much about ourselves too. And I was a single mom, so of two, and I hadn't worked in corporate probably for 20 years almost. So yeah, I've loved that balance and unknowingness in a way. I finally got comfortable in it, you know, to some degree. It's not for everyone, so I commend you. I mean, that's fantastic.
To bring up some history too, it's in my DNA. My grandparents, they actually founded an African American private school in Philadelphia in 1965 called Ivy Leaf School, and it taught over 800 students at one time. It was known as the largest African American private school in the country at one time. It closed in 2008. God rest my pop soul. My nana's still living, 91 years old, still kicking and moving and being a blessing to people in her life. So it's in my blood, and that's why it's like that drive to be the best that I can be, because I saw that example in them and my parents who are business owners as well.
That's wonderful. I can say the same too for my mom. I mean, my mom, she was an entrepreneur probably at the age of 10 on.
Wow.
And so I saw her do that, and it makes you feel like you can do it.
You get in and it's like, whoa, all the stuff we didn't see. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's real. That's real.
I want to go back to your little girl, your daughter.
Nature J.
Nature J. And, you know, I started my journey where my kids were already in teenage years. And so at one point I thought, ooh, if I got into a relationship and had a kid by this age, that would be good, because now I have this different perspective. Of course, I shared everything that I possibly could at that age with them, and they've seen me grow and expand. And so what a phenomenal opportunity. Our children are, so for me, I feel like if Bob Proctor talks about this, like our children are not our own, and they come through us. And Gary Kovac talks about how, is it Gary Kovac? Ooh, I'm gonna have to like correct myself. There is the book even escapes my mind, but it talks about the soul contracts that we have before entering into this human existence and this experience. So
in the Akashic records.
Yes. And so the fact that my children chose me to be birthed here in this human experience, like what a blessing and a gift to that she has chosen you and Marcus to begin her human experience here on this earth.
That's real.
And to explore. So for us as parents, to really just allow them to expand and show them ways and
learn from them. Like
and,
I look
and
forward
learn
to,
from them.
absolutely.
Yes.
Conscious parenting. Like
yes.
The woman's name, she has a book about conscious parenting. She was on Oprah's Super Soul Sunday, and it's not about authoritative. It's about, you know, we're each guides for each other. Yeah.
I 100% agree with that. Yeah. And I experienced that. Now my youngest is now 24. He'll be 25 soon. I learned so much from him. And my older son, they just both are different in their own, and they give me so much. So yeah, I mean, what a great journey this is. How fun. Yeah.
And another thing too, in the lines of parenting, conscious parenting, our children will be a reflection of the places in ourselves that we may need to heal from or see. And so a lot of times when parents are like scolding their child, it's the mirror that they haven't yet held up. Yeah.
I was able to see that, and my sons started. Both of my sons, they will call me on it. I'm like, okay, you know. But my mom was a conscious parenter.
Hey, let's make a thing.
Yeah, as well. So when I think my mom has passed probably almost 7.5, maybe years ago now. The things that I have learned from her that she's now transitioned I have so much more appreciation. And so that's something else too, just to be able to find the appreciation in the transition.
Yeah, that's the space I feel like I am now. Like I used to be very angry at my parents. Like, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. I went out to the war when I was naive, and it was just like, and then it's like
that victim mentality, that blame.
It was something serious. It was, and then it's like, I started to see how the environments other people grew up in. It's like, wow, like I see why y'all protected us so much. And so it's like there's still times where I'll slip back and I'll like observe or maybe even scrutinize my parents, and it's like, you know, looking at the characteristic I have that I got from them or something like that, and it's just like I just try to breathe into it and just like, you know, you did the best you could, and you're an amazing person, you're an amazing parent, and so yeah.
Have you ever listened to she recently died. She was a guru in her own right, a teacher. It was right there on the tip of my tongue. I'll post it.
Put in the description.
Yeah. Something that really helped me in regards to healing my inner child, and you mentioned this earlier, it just came to me right now. And she has a meditation, and I can actually send that to you, because in brief, she talks about almost like shrinking your parent or whoever it is that you need healing from and with, and then put them in your heart. And the way our mind works is so interesting. So we're going to shrink them, put them into our heart, and like create this whole bubble of white light, and cradle them even as a baby, and show them the love. And it's just, I did this for everyone that I could think of that I needed healing. And it's just different because even in our family, I don't know if you have siblings.
2 older brothers.
But I'm closest to, like, she's not only my sister, my physical sister, but she's my soul mate, sister, friend, partner in life. Like, we know we agreed to come into this family together. Like, without a doubt, we talk about it all the time. And I know she's here to support me on my journey and vice versa. However, we have siblings who still blame parents that are no longer here on the earth. And to see that, you know, we both just keep hope alive that at some point, I have a sister that doesn't even want to talk to me because I was in a bad relationship, and she can't forgive me. And, you know, I think about that Christian piece. And, you know, I kept wanting to prove myself. But all of that to say, there is so much work and healing that we can do just from that meditation, that one meditation that I'll post.
That's real. That's real, because we may not always get the closure we want in the physical presence. And so that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So just a couple of questions I want to ask you. What would you tell your younger self?
Girl. One, it's gonna be okay? Everything works out. Even when you think it's not working out, it's working out for you good. The second thing is just be yourself. Just be yourself. And that term gets thrown around so much in those cliches. If you can't love yourself, nobody will. Like, it's so real. It's real. It's real.
It is. Cliches have their place because they become not a cliche when we actually, I think, truly resonate with it. Like being in the now. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, with this being in the now.
Right. Another trendy thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's good to